everybody, and welcome back to Thanks, It's Vintage with your hosts, Andrew
and Lydia.
And today we have a very special episode. We are actually going to be, I know, I'm really excited for this. This is really exciting. We say this every time. We're really excited.
This is special.
This is special.
Yeah.
So we are back at Vinodivino in Kenmore Square, and we have a private cellar collection that we have acquired.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole process to that. You have to get it cleared through a distributor who has a license to do this stuff. Like, it's a whole thing, right? But we have it. It is exciting. And we are going to actually open and talk about some of these bottles. And then, of course, if you are on our email list, today's email, which today we are filming is Wednesday, which means that you're going to be hearing this as of Thursday, tomorrow, or later. That email will have a link that will allow for you to be able to let us know that you are interested in back vintage private cellar collections. And then you can see what some of these bottles are and possibly grab a few for yourself. But they are spectacular. So we're going to go through just a small portion of them. We'll give you some teasers as to what is in here that we have not pulled out today. We want to keep some of the big guys.
There are some special ones. Oh boy!
I don't know why I flex, but they are the big guys. Like they're special, and they're going to stay in the perfect conditions for storage, and we'll let you know what they are through that email. But really excited, and we're going to just talk about aging wines and what this all means, and how this works, and the beauty of it, and the sad parts of it, and all the things around it. Because this is what's great about wine is this is an area that a lot of us end up in at some point or another, is buying a collection, aging it, right? Getting those bottles to perfection. And then we open them, and there are high moments and there are low moments with that. And we are going to talk about that as well. So I think we should dive on in here, honestly.
Well, should we cover why? Why should we age wine?
Yeah.
What is the benefit?
Well, the benefit to aging wine is you are allowing for micro doses of oxygen to enter into the wine. So if you listen to our previous episode about corks, you would have learned, about the fact that we use real cork and we use
collimated.
Thank you. I knew I was going to mess up that term. Collimated cork. We use those because the real cork allows for the tiniest amount of oxygen to pass through and affect the wine very slowly over a long period of time. And that is going to structurally change the wine, and it's going to allow for different flavors and different aromas to basically start to come to the front that otherwise wouldn't be there when the wine is young and fresh and has not been exposed to oxygen over a long period of time. And that's why we age wine. We want to experience these other flavors and aromas that often come through the winemaking process, but just can't be seen unless the aging process is paired with the winemaking process. And that's why we do it. We want to experience these things. I mean, I love a complex wine. I love Bordeaux with age. I mean, that's one of my favorites to go to for wines with age, because I love that chocolate, tobacco, like aromas paired with these deep, dark fruit tones that are softer, after all that time.
Rather than fresh.
Yeah, it's like a baked pie. It's like a cigar box. It's like it's like a well-aged leather couch that's been taken care of. That beautiful smell where it's like
lived-in smell,
but in the right way.
But in the right way.
In the right way. You all know it. We all know it. We all know what those, and it takes you somewhere. It's beautiful. It transforms, what's the word? Transforms, transfigurates, something. I can't remember the word.
I don't know what you're going for.
But it's like it brings you to another place, in time, or to a specific memory,
It really does give you an experience that you couldn't have with that young wine.
Exactly.
But we should first point out, and we did point this out in the cork episode, the closures episode.
Yes.
That the majority of wine that is made today is not made to age. It is not intended to be aged.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But we are looking at a small subset of wines that we know will successfully develop.
Yes.
The big guys, Bordeaux, Barolo, Barbaresco, and, Burgundy. To mostly, there's limits to there's limits to all of them, to be fair. But when you are thinking about cellaring wine, you are really looking for certain hallmarks in the wine to know whether it's going to last or not. And there are so many factors as to why it would or wouldn't.
Right.
And it is also possible for a wine that wasn't fully intended to age well. And we'll talk about that later. But really, we're looking for acid is a huge part of that. If it's got good, bright acid, it should last longer.
Yep.
Than a flabby wine. And by that, I mean a wine that is lacking in acid. Then you're looking for body and you're looking for concentration. And obviously with red wines, you've got tannin in the mix as well. So
yeah.
They're really the biggest hallmarks. And with those things, you stand a high chance of it aging well and it developing well.
Right.
The things that the biggest one I would say is acid. Like if it doesn't have enough at the beginning, it's just not going to develop well.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about that. And, this is where, this is probably a perfect time to just mention this component that is key to all of this is the growing conditions, right?
Yes.
When this is where, I think this is what the big differentiator is when it comes to aging wine, right? Actually intentionally buying to cellar and open at peak time versus wanting wine with just a little bit of age to it. This is where the perfect years come into play. This is where that term where you may have heard, people talk about like, it was a like golden year for name a region, right? That's where the grapes developed perfect acidity and, perfect sugar content in the grapes. And the weather was just absolutely gorgeous and everything worked out perfectly. And the growing conditions meant that the wine is going to be the best it could possibly be, right? And Bordeaux is a great example always with this because it's the place that's looked at so intently for aging.
And Barolo.
And Barolo as well.
They very carefully track those vintages.
Exactly, like two areas that really everybody has just got their like laser focused eyes on, right? And that's what those mean, which is why I always say if you're not actually intending to do this, if you're not intending to age wine yourself and like hold it till it's like in peak form, then the perfect years don't matter as much. A great year is still going to be good. You could still age that wine. It's still probably going to be absolutely phenomenal. But like this is where the nitpicky comes into play, I think, for cellaring versus like if you're just going to drink it on a Tuesday night, don't worry about whether it was a perfect year.
Well, the other part of that is that good makers can salvage bad vintages.
That too.
They can make cellarable wines any which way.
And that is why their prices are so high.
Yeah.
You are paying for that talent is what you're paying for.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I've had it pressed to me many times that focus on vintages as much as you like, but what you really should be doing is finding makers that you respect and following them and making sure that
they matter most.
They do, ultimately, because they're going to know how to cope in bad vintages. They're going to farm the right way.
Right.
Even in rains, even in hail, even in all the things that can go wrong. There are many.
That could happen.
But, we've got an interesting collection here.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. And we've got some very good vintages, very respected vintages, and we've got some okay vintages that could still be incredible. We're going to see.
Are we ready to dive into some of them?
We should.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to start with the Hunter Valley Semillon from this producer is Margan Family Wine Growers. This is from the year 2000. Hunter Valley, Australia, for anyone who is not familiar with Hunter Valley.
This one
This
here.
is your territory. This is your country.
My country.
And we're going to see how this works here. So we have, the one thing that I should tell everybody is that when you buy a cellar, private cellar, you do taste a sampling of the wines. So this is not a blind buy. It's not a, we decided to go in and go, oh, let's, as I open this, might be a little loud on the mic, might not be. We'll see what the editing process does with that. You go in and you sample a number of bottles, and really you're going to be sampling a number of bottles that are lower tier, things that are not expected to age. This is where we found some surprises. Because even if it's not supposed to age, it is still going to tell you how the rest of the collection is doing because they've all been sitting in the same condition. So a great example of this is, and this is exactly what we did with this collection. The individuals who we bought this collection from who were looking to sell it, they had a number of Bordeaux Superior wines, which anybody who knows Bordeaux Superior does not mean the wine is better. It is a classification. It's actually very low on the totem pole. It is not appellation specific, and these are technically table wines from Bordeaux. They are not meant to age. They are not designed to age, and they often do not age for 10 years. That doesn't happen. However, if the wines are made well, and a lot of Bordeaux producers are known for making quality wines, whether they are ageable or not, then it should show signs that structurally it's still intact, even though the fruit and the flavors have all fallen off, right? It shouldn't taste like vinegar. It shouldn't taste like it's gone bad and over the hill in that regards, but it should have some structure to it. When I tasted the Bordeaux Superiors, that's exactly what they had. They still had acid. They still had tannin. They still had structure. There just was no flavor.
Yeah. Okay.
And that is a hallmark of a great collection that is aging as it should, right?
Yes.
That the wine that wasn't supposed to still had its structure, Now, I did also sample some of the more higher tier bottles to see how those aged. Beautiful. However, we do have a surprise in here today, and we'll get to that, momentarily. That wasn't supposed to age. I was in my, we'll see how this would, and I was like, why is this singing? It's, Semillon, though, we did not try. So we are going to.
So this maker, this is a, we've got Andrew and Lisa, I believe their names are. They began in 96 or 97. So this is a relatively youthful vintage for them, but they are working with old vines. They bought some old vines already, and then they acquired a bunch of other vineyards in the area. So Hunter Valley, very famous for Semillon. Semillon, the reason we're excited about this one is because Semillon is it's a notable wine for aging. It develops flavors that are absolutely not present when it is youthful. So we're talking, when it first releases, it's searing acid, clean, beautiful, bright, really light kind of orchard fruit. And I'm getting there. I'm waiting. The anticipation is building. But when it ages, it develops a whole ton of characteristics that you don't get in the original form. So we're talking hay, we're talking beeswax, we're talking kind of toasty, nutty characters. And all of this really is what made Hunter Valley famous. These wines just aged spectacularally.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, this wine was not necessarily made to age. I think it's one of the other thing we should say is it's genuinely hard to find a lot of information about wines from 20 plus years ago.
Yeah.
So they no longer have this particular label.
Interesting.
They've changed their structure, and their structure is very clear now. So I couldn't even tell whether this, and I'm going to smell it to find out. Okay, all right. So I don't think this was botrytized initially.
No, this was not.
They do have a line that was botrytized.
Interesting.
But this is their kind of regular dry Semillon. But yeah, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And this is a.
And I don't know if you guys can see that, but the color is dark gold.
It's like almost
it is
amber.
Almost amber. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. And it has a texture to it that wouldn't have been there at the beginning either. So it has become more viscous in the bottle.
And this is the year 2000. This is a 25, not almost 26, because remember harvest is in later in the year.
Earlier in the year.
Oh wait, for
Southern
Australia.
Hemisphere.
You know what? This is a 26-year-old wine. This is a 26-year-old
February or
wine.
March or
And on the nose,
April.
it is beautiful.
All of those notes that I said earlier. So, hay is like the thing that is absolutely hitting me in the face.
Beeswax is there too.
But that you can literally smell the beeswax. Yeah, and it smells textural. Like you can smell
that there's texture.
Thickness of the beeswax. Yeah. Mm.
It still has vibrant acidity.
It's absolutely still there. That's crazy.
And it's gorgeous. And again, this is a wine in this collection that wasn't supposed to age, which is funny that we're tasting this for the first time because now this pairs with the other one we're going to end up tasting.
Yeah.
That also wasn't supposed to age.
We've now decided we are going to.
And it's just like,
taste the other one.
What is going on here?
Wow.
And that just tells you, like I said, that this collection was stored properly, right? And when we talk about proper storage, we should mention the hallmarks of a proper storage.
Yes.
You want a cool climate. It needs to be below 70 degrees. Now, I know that sounds hot, 70 degrees, and it's because it is. But the moment it gets above 70 degrees, that is when wine starts to degrade. And if it gets above 80 degrees, it's like you have hours. Like it's fast degrading. So we say below 70 degrees. Really, the optimal is like in the mid 50s.
Yeah, 55 is generally the consensus, but it's 50 to 59 in most textbooks.
Right. And that's optimal for temperature. Then you need humidity. And you need, I think it's around like 60, 70%.
Like 60 to 75, yeah. It's quite high.
Quite high. Now, if you're thinking, where do you get consistent cool temperatures that are in the 50s and high humidity? Well, lucky for us being in New England, there is a place that does that. And I know in Boston, this is tough, but right outside of Boston, it's not tough because really it's Boston, like where it's like, do you have a cellar? But outside of Boston, like in greater Boston, all of the suburb towns and cities of Boston, it's homes, it's single family homes, multifamily homes that all have cellars. And cellars here are actually perfect.
Yeah.
They are perfect because they are always cool. If you have a cellar, it's always cool down there and it's always humid down there. Growing up on the Cape, that was something we always had to contend with was humidity. We had a dehumidifier that ran in the basement all the time. Why? Because it was very high humidity.
Yeah.
But for these guys, that is perfect. It was always cool, always super humid.
Why do we want high humidity?
Now, the cork needs to not dry out. And if you think it's just about laying on its side and having wetness on one side, that's not the answer. It needs to be damp on both sides. And so the humidity helps to keep the top part of the cork damp while the wine keeps the bottom part of the cork damp when you lay it on its side. So that is why you need the humidity. So cool.
And if it does dry out, it will oxidize at a very fast rate.
Yes. And then your collection is ruined. So those are the two things that you need. And then there's a third. And that is a dark place. But look at that. We're in a cellar. So guess what?
There's a fourth too.
Huh?
There's a fourth too.
Oh.
So we don't want vibrations.
No vibrations.
No UV light, no vibrations.
So what does a cellar in New England give you? All four of those.
Yeah.
No vibrations, unless you live near the T.
I guess unless you,
Unless you
yeah.
live near the T. I mean, I've been in Kenmore Square standing in the center, like, area there, walking across the street, and like you can feel the T underground. But that's an example that is very rare. I don't think many people have a single family home that's next to the underground of the
Probably
T.
not.
However, if you do, and you are one of those few people who may, then yeah, that might be a problem because that's going to happen all day, every day. But for everyone else, this is no problem at all. The cellar is going to be damp. It's going to be cool. It's going to absolutely give you the humidity you need, and it's going to give you 0 vibrations. And yeah,
This is really good.
isn't this
I
amazing?
can't stop sipping it. It's early morning, guys. I shouldn't be ingesting wine, but it's real. I didn't have a lot of hope
I know.
for this one.
Oh gosh,
It's
that is
really great.
gorgeous.
Wow.
And I'm glad that we opened it though, because now that we are going to put all these wines out there, you can all now see and watch us and listen to us talk about as we are tasting one of these wines that we didn't open, and now we get to say, oh no, this is definitely a collection you want to grab, you want to get your hands on. There are some bottles in that collection now, as we taste some of these wines that were not designed to age, that are really, every time we taste one that's not designed to age, I'm just more and more like, oh, those serious bottles in the collection,
They're going to be
magic. So
Yeah.
I think this is a perfect opportunity before we open another wine here to talk about what some of those serious bottles are. So
one of the big guys. Dom Perignon.
Dom Perignon.
1988.
Now,
My birth year.
the interesting thing with that bottle is that bottle has lost a little bit of juice, but that's
Understandable.
common with
Yeah.
champagne that has aged, is it does lose a little bit of juice. So
I mean, vintage champagne. Come on.
vintage champagne. And honestly, Dom Perignon is designed to age.
Absolutely.
And if you've ever had Dom Perignon that is more than a decade old, like more than a couple decades, I should say more than a couple decades after release, because they always hold it back about 5 years, right?
I can't.
I haven't.
I don't know what the youngest champagne I've had, vintage champagne, is.
I don't either. I can't remember, but I have
I think
had.
it's not that young. I think it was like 2015 or something.
I've had Dom Perignon from the 90s.
No, I had an 07. I had a really gorgeous one, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it was very special.
Yeah,
It was
these
with the
wines are
previous worker of Vinodivino. Jared,
amazing.
shout out. It was very good.
Another one that is in our collection. 1987. Heights Cellars, Martha's Vineyard, the coveted vineyard in Napa Valley, the one that everybody wants their hands in, but only one producer owns, and that is Heights. 1987. And I'm just gonna spoil the next one because they are the same year and they're both Napa and they're both juggernauts. But it's not just Heights Cellars, Martha's Vineyard from 1987 that we have in this collection. It's also 1987 Dominus Estate.
Yes.
So these are two wines that absolutely should be opened right now.
Yeah.
And I am so excited for whoever gets those bottles because those are going to be gorgeous. I mean, like I said, if this is singing and it wasn't designed to age,
Exactly.
those two wines that are designed to age from 1987,
they'll be crazy.
Ooh, it's going to be crazy.
I must say, when we were processing this cellar, I wanted it all. I just wanted everything. This is the problem with working in the wine industry.
Yeah.
Is that you can't have it all.
You can't. No.
It's not possible. So we were very thrilled with these finds.
Yes.
And the next one.
The next one is, this is a 1997 Barbaresco from Cascina Bordino. This is going to be really cool too. I'm very excited.
So 97 was there were a string of heralded vintages in Barolo and Barbaresco. I think maybe 94 was the first one. Every single vintage from, I think, 94 to 99 or something, they were all pretty spectacular. Barbaresco specifically, 98 is the big one.
Okay.
97 was respected. It was very good. But here's the interesting thing about this particular vintage was that it was quite warm.
Oh.
And when you are looking to cellar, the thing about warmer vintages is that generally that means riper grapes and generally that means lower acid. Now, having said that, we're talking about Nebbiolo, a very high acid grape. So I don't think it's going to be a problem. Also, we're talking about a good maker who would have handled the farming very well. Now, I have a feeling you have sampled this one.
I have not sampled this one.
Oh,
either.
you've not sampled this? Ooh,
No.
Hello.
Now, in case anyone's wondering, we are Corvinning. We're using my personal Corvin, not the store's Corvin today. And that is because, and I just want everyone to know this, because if anyone is like, oh, I could use a Corvin on these aged bottles, I have a vintage needle attached to the Corvin. So just a good thing to be aware of is when it comes to Corvins, there are 3 different needles. There's the standard needle, and that comes with all of them. Then there is the fast pour needle. That's going to be a thicker needle. So more space, it means it's going to let more juice out. Those, the regular and that, are great for, younger wines. However, with these, and the corks are delicate and they will reseal, but you really want to make that hole as tiny as possible.
As tiny as possible.
That is why we're using the vintage needle, which is a needle I had to buy and attach. And so I swapped out my regular needle for this one, and I'll put it back when we're done with this episode. But that is what the vintage needle is for. It's because it's make just the tiniest pricks. It's going to pour it out slower, but it's going to take care of that delicate cork, because we just don't want to open these fully right now.
No. To hang
But
on
yeah,
to them for sure.
that color is...
So Nebbiolo is famous for dropping its color relatively quickly. I know.
Whoa. Whoa.
But this is brown garnet. It is very... There is still red. There is still garnet in there. But we are looking at something that is very tawny colored.
Yeah.
Like you could confuse this for tawny port, maybe.
This is incredible.
But the nose is ridiculous.
Wow. Like, wow.
So this is one of the wines that we were very excited about and that we expected to age well.
Yes.
It is an age-worthy grape. It is an age-worthy producer. It is an age-worthy vintage. So it has everything going for it. And with the Hunter Valley wine, which didn't have everything going for it, but was an ageable grape.
Right.
We knew that this would be good.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I haven't tasted it yet, but oh wow.
So I'm you know what? While you go to taste that, I'm gonna continue to spoil some things that are in here. I just think everyone should know what's in this collection. So some things that are also not here right now, we have these stored at a different location, just to make sure they are all stored optimally. We have 2000 Chateau Duart Millon from Pauillac. That's an incredible bottle that I'm really excited for people to get their hands on as well. There's a decent amount of Bordeaux in this collection. 2002 Chateau Ponte Canet.
Yes.
Another high
Very
hallmark
respected. Yeah.
Pauillac producer. 2002 Chateau Leoville Poiffret from Saint Julien. Another respected producer in Bordeaux. Just stepping off Bordeaux for a second. 2001 Vigna Ardanza Rioja Reserva.
That was one I wanted to ferret away in
I
a
know.
pocket.
There's only one bottle.
There's
in
only
it.
one bottle.
That is another fun one.
That's going to be incredible.
And, staying on the Bordeaux train here just a little, there's also 2003 Chateau Fleur Cardinal, a great producer from Saint-Emilion. Yeah, I mean, there's really wonderful wines in here. How about the 1985 Chateau Grand Puy Ducasse from Pauillac from 1985? I mean, like these are incredible.
And how about some Burgundies? Throw some Burgundies in there.
There are some Burgundies in here.
Bourgogne, sorry.
I know.
We are no longer saying Burgundy.
Bourgogne. Bourgogne. It's just Bourgogne.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
GNE. Yeah.
Bourgogne.
Bourgogne. It's
think that's
subtle, but it's
subtle. We have 1999 Vincent Girardin's Chachon Montrachet Premier Cru.
And we have a couple of vintages too. That one.
That is a fun one. We also have, and this is another interesting one. I just lost it. Where'd you go? We also have Le Charmes Villevin Puy Fusé from Michel
That's
Ray.
right, the Puy Fusé. Yeah.
From Michel Ray. Yeah. So like there's some fun stuff in here. Or, also we have a Grand Cru Chablis from the Grand Cru Vineyard of Vaudessert from Louis Michel and Fille.
Oh, and we have the Domaine Zint.
Gosh.
We've got some pretty stunning Rieslings from both Germany and Alsace.
Yeah. We also have some back vintage Chateauneuf de Pops. And the cool thing with that is we have 3 vintages from the same producer.
From the same producer, so you can do a vertical.
Cuvée du Vatican, 1999, 2000, and 2001. Literally a vertical of 3 years in a row, which is really cool. I hope somebody just buys all 3 of those. It's let's see what they're like, year to year. All right, let's give this a.
It's ridiculous.
Oh my gosh, just the nose. I still can't. I haven't even gotten to the palate.
So the fruit is definitely cooked. It is.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's really good.
Oh, and it develops on your palate.
It does.
Yeah, it's still going.
End up with.
This is a long finish.
It is. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was a whole table spread on my palate. I felt like I just went through multiple courses.
And the acid is so supple. It's not. It's really everything has rounded in the perfect way.
And the tannins.
The tannins stay there. They're there. They're present.
But they're soft.
So
it's almost like they're hugging you.
They are
giving you a
hugging your
soft
tongue.
hug.
Yes, they definitely are.
It is.
And the fruit is gorgeous and fully still there, but it is cooked. You've got that gorgeous kind of licorice undertone at the end. And there's not. I kind of thought I would have gotten a bit of truffle-y vibes in here, but it's not so much. It's more kind of spice and fruit.
Yeah. I mean, it's still
a little bit of leather, but it's not. It's really subtle in the mix.
Yeah.
Well, this is a treat. They're all treats. I can't believe how well these wines have kept.
I know.
This is incredible.
Oh wow. This is a beauty.
Yeah.
This is a beauty. I'm really, really excited for people to get their hands on these wines. It's just incredible what is here and how it's all drinking right now. I just remembered. Yeah, look, 1986 Chateau Pédesclaux from Pauillac. Another Bordeaux producer. The Bordeaux's, listen, I'm never concerned about those.
Yeah.
There's a good deal of Bordeaux in here. Never concerned about Bordeaux. That stuff
They're going to be great.
is always going to age well.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that the stuff that's not supposed to age also aged well tells me, like I said, everything in here is just as it should be. This is a fun cellar buy. Really fun.
So why don't we talk about the fun things in this box?
Yeah. So we have this nice little box here that is a nice collection.
That is worthy of showing.
This is great.
Look at this bad boy.
Chateau Rusec. This is a Rothschild property in Sauterne. This is their Premier Grand Cru Classé Sauterne from 1999.
Started by Carmelite monks.
You know, this is one of those wines where I'm like, oh, I want to buy a bottle.
I
of that
really want
so bad. Like, if you are a dessert wine drinker, we have
We have half bottles
half
of
bottles.
Rusek and oh gosh,
So no, a half bottle of Rusek. Yes, we have one, and we have a half bottle of Chateau Guillard.
yes, that's it.
And then we have these full size bottles. These are just, if you're a dessert wine drinker, 1999, these age. I mean,
spectacular.
these are going to be all the things.
Also have a Saint Aubin. Oh, my brain's fogging. The one at the very, it's near the bottom.
The Saint Aubin.
It's also a dessert wine.
Oh yes, Domaine Philippe Delisvaux, Coteau de Léon Saint Aubin
Coteau
from 2000.
de Léon.
Those are also dessert wine. Those are dessert wines from the Loire Valley. Chenin Blanc is the primary grape here, and those are going to be
stellar.
I mean, yeah, if you're a dessert wine drinker, there are some fun things in here that are just
things.
like.
There's also quite a bit of port,
There is actually,
and some of it's Australian,
which
is
wild.
no longer port, but of course at the time they were calling it port.
And South African too.
And South African, which when I researched that sounded very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to finish this one.
So here's the thing.
Oh. Yum.
I would say we're going to open one more bottle for you all because we're also mindful of time.
Yes.
And then we're going to close it out with this bottle. And I think we should go back to something that was not expected to age just to really show how good this collection is.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I would love for us to try the 1997 Rioja from Coteau de Imaz, the Rioja Reserva, I should say. Oh, look at that. It's a Wildman, Frederick Wildman.
Yeah.
Talk about importers of provenance, right? But instead, we're going to reopen this guy, the 1999 A. Raffinelli Zinfandel from Dry Creek Valley, Sonoma County. This is another one of those, it wasn't supposed to be good because it's not a wine that was supposed to age. And yet, here it is in all its glory, aged. This...
Zinfandel can age spectacularly.
Yeah. But this
we
wasn't
don't
designed
expect,
to.
Well, we don't expect Lodi necessarily to age unless it's in the foothills. But this one was a Sonoma thing. It had a bit more probably acid at the beginning.
Is this vineyard still around?
I couldn't tell.
Yeah,
on
I couldn't
this one.
find...
This, again, this was very hard to find information about. So Zinfandel is one of those grapes where a lot gets made, a lot of it is bulk, a lot of it isn't necessarily quality, and therefore it gets overlooked as a grape. Maybe not elsewhere, but in America, definitely. But it can be utterly spectacular.
Yeah.
And the well-made stuff is incredible. Yeah, that is
right?
Fully still intact. Wow. Again, the color has dropped out a little bit, but it's viscous and smells so delightful.
It's incredible how wine develops in the perfect conditions. It's incredible what it becomes. It's right. And I want everyone who's listening or watching to know this is not an expensive bottle in the collection.
No.
Maybe we should charge more for it.
I mean, it's drinking like we should,
is,
but we want to be generous.
We're pricing everything fairly. It's about what the actual market value is for these wines. And this is not terribly expensive. This is a way to get something with age.
The acid is so delicious on this.
Isn't it?
It's really, I know I said supple before, but this is supple with spice. It's really, really quite.
This is
got a kick.
an incredible wine from What did I say the year was? 1999.
Raffanelli.
Like, absolutely incredible. And I just can't wait for people to be having this in their own glass.
I mean,
I
it's
really
from
can't.
Dry Creek. It's from a very respected area.
Yes. Yes.
Region, I should say, AVA. So I think we just kind of saw the words infidel and was like, surely not.
Yeah.
But it's another surprise.
Another surprise.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a almost 27-year-old wine.
Yeah.
And it is right now drinking so
well.
beautifully.
My gosh.
And mind you, this is the funny thing about this too. I Corvined this wine a month ago.
Yeah. Untouched.
And I just Corvined it again. And clearly it is still just as good. That's all why I love Corvin. You know, keeping the oxygen out, but getting your wine into your glass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, is it spectacular. This is probably one of the most fun of the whole bunch for me, is because I just didn't expect it. You know, in that moment when I was doing the initial consultation in these clients' cellars, I just was surprised when I opened it. I was so surprised. It's singing, and I think this is the perfect time
really
to
is.
open this bottle and enjoy it
Wow.
with friends and family. And
I mean, yeah, this is your chance
this is it.
to know what aging does to a wine.
Yeah.
And this is the high that people get from cellaring wine is the thrill of finding something so spectacular like this.
Now, we do have to close things out,
Yes.
but I want to end, and I don't want to end on a sour note, but I want to end on the other side of all of this,
Yes, we haven't really touched on that.
because we do have to touch on it. All these are high notes. Here's the low note. Once in a great while, a bottle is a dud.
And it could be for many reasons.
It could be
The
so
cork
many reasons.
could be inferior.
But as you can see, when you go through a collection like this that has been stored properly, and everything, even the things that you don't expect to sing, are singing, that means your chance is like a 99.99% chance everything is fine.
Yeah.
But we can never guarantee 100%.
Of course. And no one would,
no one would.
because this is something that you just cannot.
Yeah.
You just cannot guarantee.
And so it's
We can guarantee the quality of the storage.
exactly. And so what we can say is it is a gamble, but it is a gamble that you are really you're making out on the right side in this gambling, where it's like your chance of winning is so high, right? And your chance of losing is so minuscule. But just know the minuscule can happen. And it's always that one bottle, right? And you never know what it's going to be. It could be the bottle that wasn't supposed to age that was great. And it could be the bottle that was supposed to age that was bad. And it does happen. I have seen so many wine professionals on Instagram, and it's always the same videos. It's always the same wine too that they're doing this with. And I'm like, oh gosh, I feel bad for all of you, because I know what they spent, and it was a lot, right?
And the heartbreak is very real.
It's very real.
Yeah.
But I've watched so many videos of like wine professionals taking out like 30-year-old Lafite Rothschild, the coveted, like Bordeaux of all Bordeaux's, like the first growth that everybody and their mother wants their hands on. And those bottles at release are like $1,000 a bottle. So like you buy them secondary on the market, you know, that somebody's been aging it, you're spending thousands and thousands, sometimes 10,000 plus, you know, for a bottle of Lafite Rothschild. And that's the video I always see, is wine professionals taking that particular wine, that producer, and dumping it down the drain in the sink going, it was bad. And it's just like, but you see, like, if it can happen there, it can happen anywhere. And it's just a note to keep in mind, is that it is always
Cork
a
is a natural
possibility.
product, and it's going to have flaws.
However,
And, you know, it doesn't matter how much money you have as a domain.
Yep.
That there will be
there will be.
less than, probably, I'm sure they've got it down to a fine art, but it's probably less than 1% at this point. But what we haven't said is that the science behind winemaking has gotten infinitely better in the last 50 years.
Oh, yeah.
And when we're looking at wines that are nearly 30 years old, maybe the cork, who knows? Who knows what was happening? Maybe the cork was just inferior that year. Something. It really isn't something that anyone can control.
No.
It is just a part of this beautiful aging process.
Yeah. But
A sad part, but a part nonetheless.
it's a part.
Mm-hmm.
However, I will say
All of these
have been
so happy.
so your chances are like the absolute best you could possibly have. And I'm excited for this. The other thing too is usually when those bottles are bad, it's usually a lot of secondary market stuff, number one. And number two, it's because they can't guarantee what the storage conditions were. That ends up being a big factor into why.
Because it's moved
they don't
through
know
various
where
hands.
they don't know where it's been. And when you are cellaring wine, it really needs to be in one place for a very long period of time. It's one thing if you move your home once, like these people did. They moved once with this collection. That's it.
And it would have not been the whole collection. Either.
No.
Yeah.
And it went from one cellar to another cellar, right? And it was a short transportation because they've lived in the same town forever. So like when I say they moved homes, they literally moved from one house to another house. They brought it from one cellar to another cellar. So we know that these have been stored properly for as long as they have been. But for most people, for most cellar collections out there where there is no guarantee of what the storage was, it's often that it's been moved around many times. It's that it's been in many different hands, and then you don't know what they did. You don't know how they stored it. Yeah, and that's the problem. That's usually the culprit, honestly, is somebody in the chain of command didn't have it where it should be,
Yeah.
But these have been great.
This has been so fun. Should we just show some bottles?
Oh, yeah. So here's the Chauchan Montrachet Premier Cru, single vineyard from Vincent Girardin. So white Burgundy lover.
Color of this.
I know, the color of that is just incredible.
And then we have various of the Chateauneuf du Pape.
The Chateauneufs.
The Sec.
I mean, and the best part is that the loss of juice in the bottles is all minimal, if any at all.
Well, we only really took the ones that were looking good. Yeah.
But even so, there were really only like 2 or 3 that had a little bit of loss, and they were understandable.
Yeah.
The Champagne, one of the Bordeaux's that's very old, had a little bit of loss, but that happens with Bordeaux too. But almost everything was just fine. I know. So good.
I mean, this is such a huge volume of dessert wine.
I know, but you know what? Dessert wine, once you open it, just put it in a fridge. You'll make it last a month. Fine. All right.
I think this has been a great success.
Yes. And we're so excited for you all to try this. And I know this is probably an hour episode, maybe closer to that, but it's okay. It's okay.
It's worth it.
These are things you want to see, try, listen to, like learn about. Like you're definitely going to want to hang in for this one. So, all right.
We did it.
We did it. I have a tiny bit left. So
cheers.
Cheers.